Hello everyone and welcome to TubeTalk.
Welcome to you, Melissa.
Thank you.
Lovely to have you pinch hitting.
Yes, I hadn't heard that expression before.
Yeah, pinch hitting for Doug, who can't make it to host this week, but he will be back next week.
Yeah.
Before we start, can I
I'll
show
do
people
my
my
best.
special guest?
Yes.
That's here at my feet.
Yeah.
I may have shown them before, and if I have, I'm sure people will tell me. But, you know, bring your pet to work day.
Yeah.
This is Maisie, our rescue dog.
She's lovely. She looks very uncomfortable in front of the camera.
Yeah, she comes to work with me every day.
Yeah.
Some days she likes it more than others. All right, away you go. That's your 15 minutes of fame.
Okay, now I think you've got a dad joke to tell us.
Last week was like tick tock, because we had 3 seconds last weekend. Cracked myself up.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty
Very
bad. But we'll talk about the second. So we had Geneva on Friday.
Yes, up to 1800 metres, heavy track, really good run. Second, got a little bit tired late. I think she'll get 1800 metres and further on better tracks, but on really deep ones, the 1800 metres was probably just a touch too far, but as a good track, she'll get it. So she'll drop back to a mile at Hara next week. She's been in really, really good form, and her maiden win is not far away. Mile at Hara will really suit.
Hawera.
Hawera.
We had Sacred Sweet over on the Gold Coast, second on Saturday.
Yeah, first up, over 1400 metres. There was a tearaway leader which kind of ruined the race, and so he had a lot of ground to make up inside the last 200 metres. And the 100 metres to go, he looked like he was going to run third, and he just flew and missed winning by about that far. Really good run first up. And there's a really nice mile from a $35,000 mile race at Eagle Farm from on the 16th of September, which is where he will head next. The maiden win for him is very close.
Nice. And Allwood, another second for us.
Yeah, and he would have won if he would have won with a different draw, because there was a real fast lane on Saturday at Doomben, a little bit wider on the track, and he trailed, came off, dashed through, fought everything off, and then was just bombed by a stablemate on the line late who was in the fast lane out wide, which he couldn't get to. Super run. He's such a warrior. He's come back really well.
A warrior or a warrior?
A warrior. A warrior. And so he will, there's a really nice 2,000 metre race for him, his best distance, and next Saturday the 12th, and then the Toowoomba Cup $125,000 race 2 weeks after that.
Nice. But to this week, Friday at Timaru, big meeting for us. Race 4, we've got Severine.
Yeah, 3 horses kicking off their new campaigns. Severine, she tends to need one at the start of her campaign. She's had 1 trial going in, 1,200 metres. I'm sure she'll improve for it. Nice barrier of 8. She'll come in a couple of places with Kosiasano on board. She'll get a lovely run in transit. I can see her going a nice race, but it's not her grand final, and she will improve for it a lot, and particularly she'll get over more ground.
And Running Man's in race 5.
Wide draw. We're going to have to ride on how he jumps and determine whether we go forward or back. But his last start before the lockdown, he ran second, and he trialled up the other day while he finished back at the back of the field. His action was really good, and he actually trialled up well. So I wouldn't be surprised if things go his way to see him running the money on Friday, fresh up. He can run a really fast 1200 when he's in the right mindset.
And finally, we've got Sanctify in race 9.
Yeah, a horse, look, it's been frustrating because I've been really frustrated by some of the rides on her. You know, she's gone to the line full of running behind a wall of horses, and this has happened a couple of times. We've got a bad draw again, barrier 13. We've got Sam on board though, who's ridden it before. I think that while we're going to have to get back, I think we won't. While we're going to get back, I think that Sam will be really trying to find the gaps on her, and if those gaps come, I wouldn't be surprised at all to see her turn her last up form around very, very quickly.
Cool. Then we're down to Wanganui on Saturday.
Down or up?
Oh, sorry, up to Wanganui.
And is that Whanganui, Melissa? Whanganui.
And in race 6, we've got the exciting up-and-coming filly Tissue.
Yes, in the listed Whanganui Guineas. She was nominated for the Group 3 Breeder Stakes as Northern Breeder Stakes as well, but we've opted for this because she's got barrier 2 here. Her first up run was excellent. She went down the nose in a very strong field. The third horse that was unbeaten in trials has gone out favourite. It went out favourite, won a trial since by 5 lengths untouched. Heavy 10, we want the track to come back. It would be nice if it got back into the slow range. Daryl Bradley on board, very exciting filly. Not surprising, she's been in from 18s to 12s this week. If the breaks come her way, she can be right in the thick of it. The heavy track and how she handles it is the question mark from an inside draw, which may not be ideal. We'll just have to wait to see how it pans out, but she is very progressive.
Cool. And we're continuing the road trip up the country to Waikato on Saturday. And in race time, we've got make time.
1-2 starts ago. Last start, the track was just too puggy for him and he couldn't get his legs out of it, but still ran with merit to run 6th. He's a good, consistent horse. He's very progressive. Awkward barrier draw. He'll probably jump from about 10 or 14 with Sam Spread on board. It's an opportunity to probably ride him a little bit conservatively and just get cover. And if he does get cover, I'm sure he will finish off very well. Te Rapa is one of those tracks which clods fly up and it's loose because of the way it was sanded a couple of years ago. And if horses either love it or hate it, and if they hate it, they just don't put it. And so we need to find out with him. But I think that if he gets cover and relaxed, I think he'll finish off very well.
Nice. And then in race 10, Wrap 'em Up.
Now, Wrap 'em Up is at $26 and 6 a place, and I think this is a horse that people can have a wee each way bet on. First up over 1200 out of her grade was excellent. Second up over 1400, she struck that very deep, puggy holding track at Matamata and it didn't suit her. Put a line through it. She's going to get back onto a slow surface or even dead surface. She's got barrier 6. She goes up in distance to a mile. Sam Collett back on board. She should get a nice run, I think, in transit. And while 2,000 metres is her best distance, she's way better than the odds on offer. She's way over the odds and it's a very nice top 4 chance.
Cool. And then although we can't travel, we can go over to over the Tasman to Moonee Valley on Saturday. Race 2, Skyman.
Yes, very good horse. 2 starts in Australia for 2 wins, both very impressive. Because of the COVID lockdown in Australia and horses are unable to really transfer very quickly between states, he's been forced to stay in Victoria when we'd like to get into New South Wales, and we've been forced to run in races which aren't ideal. So this race here, he's got 61 kilos, so a big weight, and it's a mile, and he's stepping back from 2,000 metres. So neither of those things are in his favour. The third thing really against him is he's got barrier 13. So he's going to end up a long way off them over a distance too short, carrying a big weight, and that makes it very difficult for him to win on Saturday. He is very good and he will run very well, but it's difficult for him to win. If he does win it over a mile on Saturday with all those things against him, it'll be a phenomenal performance. But regardless of all that, he will run well. It's just tough to win.
Mm-hmm. And we've got Little Sir Pippin in race 9 at the same meeting.
He's another horse that's been caught with the same problem. He's just below open class, but there's no race since grade, so he's got to continue to run an open class and be out of the handicap. And by that I mean his rating means he has to carry 52 kilos, but he has to carry 56 each week. So he's got to carry more weight than his form justifies. This week is slightly better. He's only 2 kilos out of the handicap, carrying 54. We've got Craig Williams on board. He ran last week and his run was actually very good. He was back last on a slow speed and he finished off well. This week's field is weaker. It is not as strong as last week. And he's better off the handicap, but he has barrier 13 off 13. And he's going to have to go back and have a lot of ground to make up. If the breaks come his way, he can certainly run the money because it's weaker and he's going really well. But the barrier draw makes it tough.
Okay, and then exciting, we're going to get Miss Sentimental's Australian campaign going at Ramwick. Race 7, the Chelmsford Stakes.
Yeah, weight for age, Group 2, 1,600 metres with $250,000. Very exciting. Sentimental Miss Sentimental, as she's known in Australia. She's had one trial since she's been over with Chris Waller, which she won. Blinkers go off. We'll look at putting the blinkers back on when she steps up over distances of 2,400, maybe 2,000, but 2,500 and further, which is her sweet spot of distances. But fresh up with the way she trialled, I don't think we need to have those on. Tim Clark on board. He's a good barrier rider. He should get her out of the gates, and I can see her sort of settling 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, around about there. And weight for age is tough, but she's going well. It's going to be really interesting to see how she goes. See, they've framed her at $21 in Australia, so they're wary of her, and she's coming up well. So it's the first step for us in a Melbourne Cup campaign for her. So it's not her final, but it'll be exciting to see her run well. And we're going in with our eyes open, but we think while it is a good track and she likes a slow track, we think she can run with a lot of merit. So we'll be glued to the TV.
Exciting.
I probably ramble on a bit there.
You always ramble on a bit.
Yeah.
So we'll wrap up with Bet of the Week. We've got a New Zealand and an Australian Bet of the Week.
We do.
So in New Zealand, your Bet of the Week is?
In New Zealand, my Bet of the Week is Bavella, who is in race
6 at Waikato.
Waikato.
Barbella. I thought it was Barbella.
No.
Barbella.
So she was on the ballot for the Foxbridge Plate Group 2 on Saturday, didn't get in the field. She's got a terrible barrier. She'll start from probably 13 or 14 or 14 over 1,200 metres. But her form is outstanding. She's fresh up. I think she's going very well. She certainly wouldn't have been on the ballot of the Foxbridge Plate. If she wasn't, I can see her blasting out, getting handy, being very hard to run down at about $3.60. So I think she is a good bet.
And in Australia, Ramwick race 6, you've picked Hungry Heart.
Hungry Heart, fresh up for Chris Waller, 3-year-old filly, had 3 starts as a 2-year-old, and 5th in the Golden Slipper, won a Group 2, has had 2 really nice trials, one behind Nature Strip. I know she's only $2.70, but I think that's good value. So I think she'll be very, very hard to beat. One other comment I'm going to make at the Bet of the Week. Last week, a couple of weeks ago, I tipped a horse called Rotherby, and it got back and ran on well, and it raced the Sunshine Coast last Sunday in a 6-horse field and got up and paid $15. So sometimes I know what I'm talking about, and if we give the Bet of the Week out, just follow it a little bit. Just follow it a little bit.
Yes, but it's called Bet of the Week.
Yeah. Make an excellent point.
Not next week.
Get it right this week.
All right, let's hope you do.
Okay, thanks for that. Bye.
A sense of occasion under pressure. Then came Antonio Giuseppe, Lifeless, Ordinary and Saracen trying to pick up, but around the turn, Red Excitement. He's certainly making it exciting. Pass hitting pretty quietly, 6 lengths clear. Now Winks is getting cracking. Further back to Antonio Giuseppe, Chicante still there. Red Excitement 5 in front. Now Winks has only got 1 more to pick off. Red Excitement 3 in front. Winks is coming. Red Excitement, but here she comes. Right over the top, Winks. Barnstorming finish again, 19 in a row.